The Texas Longhorns moving into the SEC, go into SEC country and land Nick Brooks, offensive tackle from the state of Georgia. To make sense of all this, On3's very best in the business, Steve Wiltfong. Steve, what got it done for Texas, ultimately landing Nick Brooks?
Well, getting him to campus in the summer for his official visit was a game-changing experience for him. Kyle Flood, the relationship there, what Kyle Flood has done historically with offensive linemen in his career, what Steve Sarkisian and this program have been doing on the football field, all that adds up to Texas landing one of their most coveted players at the position, Nick Brooks. This is another big offensive line class for Texas. Brooks, the sixth one to jump in the fold for Coach Sark and company here in this class. And since they walked in the door at Texas in building a team that can compete for a national championship, they've put a lot of emphasis on offensive line recruiting and development. And now recruits like Nick Brooks are able to see what guys like Kelvin Banks are doing for Texas, and he can see himself doing that for the Longhorns down the road. This is a big pickup for Texas, their top offensive line commit this cycle, and a guy that they're going to count on for years to come.
Steve, you said big pickup, both in a metaphorical and a literal sense. 6'7", 360 pounds, the offensive tackle from Grayson in the state of Georgia. What are they getting in Nick Brooks?
Well, he's athletic, he's physical, he wants to finish people, he's tough, he's hard-nosed football player that can move, he can bend, and he's got strong hands now. He's going to need some development, he's going to need to reshape a little bit, but when he does, he's going to become more explosive. Easy to see why Georgia and USC coveted him so much as well, but he's all Bernard. He's headed to Texas. Steve Sarkisian and company land one of their top offensive line prospects.
A massive get for Texas here on this beautiful Friday. What's next for the Longhorns on the trail?
Well, they're hoping to land a few more 5-stars. You know, they're in the mix for Jonah Williams, the #1 safety in the country. They're in the mix for receiver Jamie French out of Jacksonville Mandarin. The On3 RPM is trending for Texas for both of those guys. The #1 athlete in America, Michael Terry the third. He's got Nebraska and Oregon on his short list, but the San Antonio product is high on Texas and the way Steve Sarkisian can use him in the offense. So those are 3 5-star guys that Texas has a chance to add to this class when all said and done. They'll look to flip guys like Myron Charles, a defensive tackle committed to Florida State, but it starts with those 3 5-stars.
Steve Sarkisian and company continuing to build that roster as they make this move into the SEC. Steve, thanks so much for your time. Nick Brooks is headed to the Longhorns.
Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.